Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. I know you. I know what you're doing. You're in your car in Burleson, Texas. Driving to the gym. You decided at New Year's, this is the resolution. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym every weekday. And years past, you had the same resolution. Did you do it? No. It fell apart. But today is March 3rd. And you're still doing it somehow. Right now, as we speak, you're just bebopping along, driving home from your overnight shift as a security guard in Ocala, Florida. Radio's on. I'll give it a listen. And all of a sudden, there it is. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, the Drake Toll Show. And then afterwards, Nick Costos, You Better, You Bet. Bleck and Abdallah, and then Jim Rome. Right here on Sirius XM, on your favorite local sports station. And it's a moment for you and I to gather for 3 hours, come together for 3 hours, and talk about sports. I turned the TV on this morning, and there's the big headline on there, War with Iran. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to see all that. That's not for me right now. We killed the Ayatollah, I was told. I never knew that sentence would be uttered from my mouth. I still am not sure if I know exactly what that means, because I've been told that pretty immediately after there was a new Ayatollah. I thought the guy's name was Ayatollah. It was very I've learned a lot the last 72 hours. Only to find out Iran appointed a new one, and we also killed him. So how many do they have? What's next? I have so many questions that I can't answer about the state of affairs in the United States of America. I have no real grip or bearing on what exactly is happening. But what I do know, and what I think in this context of these 3 hours, it's much more apropos that I know, is that the Washington Commanders have one less corner on their roster this morning. Marshawn Lattimore has been released. I also know that the Houston Texans, they got an itch. They need a little more cowbell. And that little more cowbell is a really old running back. They are addicted to going out and getting the really old running back. I also know that I watched last night 2 college basketball games where one team dominated. Duke going on the road facing Will Wade. Remember Will Wade? He was the guy at LSU that the FBI came in, kicked down his door, I think, and said, "Oh, you can't be doing any of this. These are all violations of recruiting laws." So Will Wade bounced, said, "All right, I'll go somewhere else and win." That's exactly what he did. Now he's at NC State. They lost 93-64 last night and find themselves on the bubble. Iowa State, who you should have liked in your bracket to make a deep run in March Madness, and you can still like them. They're still a 2 seed. They went on the road and lost at number 2 Arizona. A lot of us would go on the road and lose at number 2 Arizona. But Iowa State, they've lost 3 of their last 4, including a game to BYU, who's shorthanded without their starting point guard, Richie Saunders. They also lost at home to number 16 Texas Tech. Texas Tech's very good too, but the Texas Tech Red Raiders, are without JT Toppin, maybe the best player in college basketball. That is best college basketball player, like A.J. DeBonsa, Darius Acuff Jr., Cameron Boozer. Those guys are better basketball players. There's a difference in 18-year-old basketball player and chiseled veteran who's going to be very good at college basketball. JT Toppin was that. Texas Tech, they went on the road without that guy and beat Iowa State. And then a 73-57 loss last night with the Cyclones at the hands of the Arizona Wildcats, further proving Arizona is a national championship contender. If there's one thing you take away from the show, if the rest of the show, you tune it out, it's white noise in the background while you knit and you sew and you do yard work and you hang out on your back porch. The sun's starting to come out in most of the country. There was UV yesterday in Savannah, Georgia. As you're doing that, as you're listening, if there's one thing you take away from this show, it's the Arizona Wildcats should be in your Final Four. When you pick your bracket, I'm telling you right now, if you want a cheat code, if you want the inside information, you want insider trading, you want to go to Polymarket or Kalshi and put a bet down, the Arizona Wildcats should be in your Final Four. This year, college basketball is so stacked, and Duke should be there as well. The college basketball is so stacked that the difference between a 1 seed and a 3 seed is what the difference used to be between a 1 seed and a 6 seed. So, well, what does that mean? The difference right now between Duke at number 1 overall and, say, Illinois at number 11 overall, that difference, that disparity, that gap between 1 and 11 in today's college basketball, or the gap between 1 and 16, between Duke and Alabama, or Arizona and Alabama, between Duke and Nebraska, it is about as large as the gap would have been in 2022 between number 1 Kansas and number 36 Oregon, at-large Oregon. Because the top-heavy the halves in college basketball have made it so top-heavy via the transfer portal and NIL that nobody else can really compete outside of that top 4 or 5. The days of St. Peter's, as Pete Souza, ESPN play-by-play, told us on the show yesterday, the days of St. Peter's are gone. We don't have those anymore. And college basketball is going to build for a March Madness where it's just star after star, name after name in the Final Four. Arizona is one of those. But let's do it. Let's say you and I camp out a little bit in the National Football League, where no longer, and this is not much of a surprise, no longer do the Texans have a huge question mark on who their veteran running back will be, because again, the Texans love veteran running backs. They got their guy in David Montgomery. The Lions sending Montgomery to the Texans. Listen to this list of names. Steve Frederick tweets this. No team lives for a 29-year-old car with 200,000 miles, more than that, and 20 miles left in the gas tank than the Texans. David Montgomery, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, David Johnson, Mark Ingram, and the streets forget Rex Burkhead, the Houston Texan, and Carlos Hyde. This is spanning like the last 15 years of the Texans just going out and getting old running backs. The Titans love old wide receivers. Everybody has that thing they're addicted to. You always say, I can quit whenever I want. I'm not addicted to old running backs. I can stop. It's just something I do for fun. It doesn't hurt me. And if it became a problem, I just wouldn't do it anymore. It's become a problem. The Texans, it's an ongoing strategy. You are prioritizing a floor. You're prioritizing the proven floor by getting a guy who's proven himself, and you don't need that youthful projection. You're throwing that out at the running back position. I'm the opposite. I, Drake Toll, as the GM of the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, I'm going into the draft. I'm getting a running back from Oregon State that you've never heard of. Oh, but you don't really need to have heard of him. I don't need you to know what Isaiah Pacheco did in college. I just need that guy to walk in our front doors. You don't know his name, and now all of a sudden, there's 4.6 yards per carry at a cloud of dust. Juice Scruggs, draft capital, Detroit, take it. We're the Texans. We're going to build our offense around this veteran. This guy's going to come in here and whip our quarterback into shape. Show everybody how it's done as an NFL bell cow. Juice Scruggs, 2026 4th-round pick, 2027 7th-round pick to Detroit. That's a pretty big investment. Those 2 picks, Scruggs, it's fine. It's a pretty big investment in a 29-year-old. Oh, and by the way, Montgomery's under contract through 2027. He have a base salary, which I would accept. I would take this personally. I would allow it to be my pockets. $5.49 million, which means the Texans didn't want Kenneth Walker, who will likely ask for $10+ million a year. We'll see if he gets it. I don't think I'm giving any running back, maybe on the planet. Like, it's once you get past the Saquon, McCaffrey, Henry conversation, I'm not giving anybody $10 million to play running back for my NFL team when I can grab a rookie from Kentucky that was their number 2 running back, and he'll do a serviceable job. He'll win me the Super Bowl. Remember, teams that win the Super Bowl don't have big-name running backs. Doesn't work that way. There's a trend, though. Joe Mixon, 28 years old when he was signed in 2024. Nick Chubb, 29 years old when he was signed in 2025. David Montgomery, 29 years old when next year begins. He's the power back they wanted. All right. Woody Marks, by the way, who the Texans already have and drafted. He was their version of, let's go in the draft and get a guy you've never heard of and see what happens. He's just been okay. And now David Montgomery will complement that in the offense with C.J. Stroud. Marshawn Lattimore, that name you know, no longer a Washington Commander. Snip, snap, snip, snap. And if you do remember, by the way, when they acquired him from the Saints, it was draft capital, 3rd rounder, 4th rounder, 6th rounder. And then how did that work out? 2025, performance? Nope. Health? Nope. Didn't have either of those things. And both of those, it turns out, you need in the National Football League. Commanders acquire Lattimore via trade, had no remaining guarantees in his contract. They could cut him with $0 in dead money. That's the whole point here. Where can we save dough going into free agency in a week? If we're going to go build a roster for Dan Quinn to win, for Dan Quinn to feel like, okay, we're built out, we can make this work, we're going to have to release some stuff. Don't you release me. Begging you for $18.5 million. I would also take that amount of money right now. $18.5 million in salary cap space has now been cleared up. Washington has $80+ million available now, top 5 in the NFL, ahead of March 11th. March 11th, the free agency date, is the date to know. And Lattimore wasn't really giving him much. He finished PFF-wise. I don't always subscribe to PFF. 99th among cornerbacks in his coverage grade. Oh. And sometimes you hear it a lot. It's that old adage that your middle school coach would give you, your junior high coach would give you. The best ability is availability. If you were always hurt, if you're always, oh, this doesn't feel very good, that doesn't feel very good, then you didn't get to play in middle school. Well, in the NFL, that version of, oh, this doesn't feel very good is a torn ACL or a torn labrum or a broken tibia. And in this case, middle of the season, Lattimore tears his ACL. And Washington says, hey, we don't need to do this anymore. Lattimore was also arrested. Like, we don't really need to do this anymore. We have the number 7 overall pick in the draft. We don't have to keep going with Lattimore. We can just go. We can go with number 7 overall, grab whoever we want defensively. We can go grab a corner if we'd like to. There are a lot of the linebacker and defensive line class is really solid. Caleb Downs, Ohio State, may still be on the board when Washington goes to draft at 7th overall. They could get Reuben Bain Jr. from Miami, go bolster the defense. Mansour Delane is an LSU kid that I really like at corner. Jamad McCoy, Tennessee kid, I really like at corner. They could go grab any of those guys, replace Lattimore, save money, go into free agency, and be a bigger spender. Reminds me of Steve Jobs. Yes. Bang! We're back. 1997. Apple, 90 days from bankruptcy. Steve Jobs came back. Those who know ball will remember that Steve Jobs was not always in charge at Apple. Originally he was, and the board of directors was like, oh, we don't really need Steve Jobs around here anymore. But when he came back, because they needed him back, Jobs walked into the front door and said, you know what my first order of business is? is to cut Marshawn Lattimore. They said, no, we shouldn't cut Marshawn Lattimore at Apple. I said, no, we are. Performa, Quadra, Power Mac, what are any of these things? Those are all just the Marshawn Lattimores of my company. So Steve Jobs cut the production of 70% of Apple's hardware products. He drew a simple 2x2 grid on a whiteboard. The columns were consumer and pro, desktop and portable. Cut up the noise and produced the iMac. That worked out a little bit better. And within a year, a company that was losing billions of dollars was profitable because they cut Marshawn Lattimore. American Airlines did the same thing. The micro tweak. 1987, their CEO, Robert Crandall, was looking for ways to trim the budget. He observed most passengers didn't eat the olives in their salad. He ordered the removal of just one olive from every salad served in first class. And because the airline served millions of meals, that olive saved the company $40,000 per year. It's the business case study. The olive, or as we call it in sports, the Marshawn Lattimore. Even Lego in 2003, losing $300 million a year, decided to cut a brick. Said, hey, why don't we just cut our number of bricks in half? We're building a lot of random bricks that nobody wants. And Lego saved money and kept from bankruptcy. So in the end, Marshawn Lattimore, you are just another example of the Apple Quadra, the olive of American Airlines, or that one Lego that you'll never see again. And because of you, your company will save a lot of money and possibly contend in the National Football League in 2026. And when we return, Bruce Pearl, this is idiotic. He wants to keep an undefeated team out of March Madness? He does. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Will the Raiders trade Mac?
Now one of these days I'll wake up tired of the life I'm living and feel inspired to get off my ass and be on my way. One of these days I'll wake up steady and ready to go like Richard Petty. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days I'm coming up to it, gonna put my foot right down and do it. It's about damn time. It's about damn time. I made a change. One of these days I'm bound for glory, and that's the moral of this whole story. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days. One of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways one of these days. Now one of these days I'll wake up tired of the life I'm living and feel inspired to get off my ass and be on my way. One of these days I'll wake up steady and ready to go like Richard Petty. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways one of these days. One of these days I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways one of these days. One of these days I'm coming up to it, gonna put my foot right down and do it. It's about damn time. It's about damn time. I made a change. One of these days I'm bound for glory, and that's the moral of this whole story. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways one of these days. One of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways one of these days.
Touch yourself. Touch yourself.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's the Drake Toll Show. Yeah. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked on Big 12. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is March. Reading here, a tweet from College Basketball Report says that it's our favorite time of the year. Here are our picks for every mid-major conference champion. And it's just, I'm reading some of these teams thinking that this is what March is made of. Robert Morris, Green Bay, Oakland, Colgate, Austin P, High Point, Winthrop. These are teams that you do not care about, that you do not hear about until March. And if you do care about them, welcome to the show. I, too, care about Fairfield basketball. I'm watching as Belmont takes the court. I like seeing Charleston succeed or Vermont win the American East. Oh, and when Portland State takes the Big Sky or Stephen F. Austin wins the Southland, I'll be there. Florida A&M in the SWAC, I'll be there. That's what this time of year is for. Now, I'm there most of the time. Sports betting. I'm that guy. On a Wednesday night, you'll find me in the SWAC. You'll find me, Bethune-Cookman, at Florida A&M. I've always got a hunch. There is no game that happens without some sort of hunch in my brain. So I'm there with you, and I'll be there with you in March as we're a week away from conference tournaments in the power levels of college basketball. The Horizon League began their league tournament last night. Bet you didn't know that, did you? Well, you do here. There is a fan, as we speak, who woke up this morning and said, my favorite team in the world is out of the Horizon League. I'm a big fan of IUPUI. Got my degree there. University of Indiana University at Indianapolis is now the official name of the school. They changed. They rebranded. But you'll know them previously as IUPUI. They lost last night, 101 to 93 at the hands of Cleveland State in the Barbasol Horizon League Championship play-in game. Their season is done. Someone woke up this morning, Duke fans, Arizona fans, Michigan fans, those who know that you're in for a treat for the next month of basketball. You woke up ready for 4 more weeks of round ball rock. IUPUI, they're done. Their season is over. The players' season is over. I also find it funny. I turned on the national networks. I told you I quad box. I watch all of the national TV shows that discuss sports in the morning. I'm watching right now. They're recapping the Spurs win, make it loss at the hands of the Knicks. That was Sunday. Today's Tuesday. Good morning. Much has happened since then, folks. Much has happened. And in the middle of that, the Miami of Ohio athletic director is going after Bruce Pearl. That's a sentence that you never thought you would hear. That's a sentence I never thought I would utter. Legendary Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl has now become a TV commentator. Remember how weird it was? And Pearl is a pretty clear, he has been very open about his politics. He's fairly open about the Republican nature as well, and I foresee, and I've talked to a couple Auburn sources, him running for office for the Republican Party within the next few years, and that being a piece of why he stepped down at Auburn. Many thought it would be for him to run pretty much immediately for some sort of public office. Instead, he has taken a TV role, become a commentator. I haven't hated listening to Bruce Pearl. It felt weird that he was going to be the basketball coach as the head man of the Tigers. And then 3 months before the season, a month before the season, said, you know what? Nope, I'm out. I'm retiring. My son is going to take over. His son has done a lackluster at best job. Auburn's lost 7 of their last 8. And Pearl ran off the TV, almost immediately was hired to do TV. I haven't been specifically perturbed by him. It's been an afterthought watching him on the television. That's kind of what you want from your analysts most of the time. You don't want to know that they're there. They're just on your television. They're not being groundbreaking. They're just not annoying you. That's enough for you to keep it on. You're watching the game anyway. But then he went after my son. He attacked an orphanage. Bruce Pearl went and disparaged national icons that will be regarded as heroes, yet Bruce Pearl sees them as a nuisance. Here is what he had to say about the undefeated college basketball's Miami of Ohio.
Miami, Ohio, here's the deal. Are we going to select the 68 most deserving teams, or are we going to select the 68 best teams? If we're selecting the 68 best teams, then Miami, Ohio is going to have to win their tournament to qualify as a champion. Because as an at-large, they are not one of the best teams in the country. And that's going to be a difficult choice for the committee to make.
Here's a question that I have for the group here. What is more valuable, the conference tournament or the regular season, winning out the regular season? I think it's regular season.
Right.
Because I think you got a larger body of work. I think they play well, but the unfortunate part of being a mid-major is you got to handle your business not only in conference but also in tournament play.
Yes.
My son played at the University of New Mexico, and they actually snuck in and won the conference tournament.
And that throws off
everybody. And they win and they lost to Clemson. But at the end of the day, I think you just got to take care of your business if you're a mid-major team.
Yeah.
I don't know if the 0 at the end of the season makes a difference. unless they win out their conference.
Because here's why it's crazy. The MAC has not had multiple teams, multiple bids since 98, 99. So that's almost 30 years ago. And the strength of schedule for Miami of Ohio, 321st. It doesn't look good when we're weighing resumes, which is what's happening with the bubble talk right now. You mentioned New Mexico.
Correct.
They're one of those first 4 in, first 4 outs. These are always a little deceiving because you don't know who the first 8 in or the last 8 out are. But what is this moment like, this bubble time? I know you're thinking about this right now with your son as well, with all.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play your way in or you're going to lose your way out. It's just that simple with all these teams. And Mash, to your question, for the mid-majors and low majors, it's all about the tournament because they recognize there's only going to be a one-bid league. For the rest of the leagues, it's all about the grind of a regular season championship, and I think that's what matters most.
I don't get how and I would have maybe the underlying thing here, what I want you to really understand. Just because someone is speaking confidently, just because someone has a strong cadence, because you listen to them and you're appeased by the way their voice sounds, does not mean they're right. Does not mean they have a good take about this. And Bruce Pearl saying that the regular season matters most for Iowa State, for Auburn, for LSU. That's true, for sure. They don't need to win their conference tournament to get in, and the mid-majors, by and large, do. But to dilute the regular season of a team that's only gone undefeated in that regular season makes no sense to me. How could you come to a microphone, go to a podium, walk into a studio, sit at a desk, and say, hey, the regular season matters for the guys upstairs, but, man, if you're Miami of Ohio and you lose one game, you're bounced? How can you come to the podium and a top 25 Miami of Ohio team say, yeah, if we're picking the best 68 teams in the country, Miami of Ohio is not there? Why do we continue to play the hypotheticals game? And I'm not just going to fault Bruce Pearl for doing this. Pete Souza came on the show yesterday and said, well, if Miami of Ohio played in the Big East, they'd finish 10th in the Big East. So it's obvious Miami of Ohio is not in the top 68 teams. But at a very clear level to me, if you go undefeated in the regular season, that's far more impressive than winning your conference tournament. You go undefeated in the regular season and slip up in a game to, I don't know, Toledo or Ohio or Buffalo in your league tournament, and you finish the year at 33-1, you shouldn't be left out of March Madness because of your one blemish. I've watched plenty of teams lose some stupid games. I watched Texas lose to Arizona State. I've watched teams lose stupid games in 2026. I don't think that is an indicator. Losing a stupid game in your conference tournament after winning 31, 32, 33 games should bar you from competing for a national championship. I think Bruce Pearl is completely off. Do you at home, do you in your car, do you at work like rooting for the big dog? Do you like the detriment of the little man so that more Dukes can get in? If we're not kidding ourselves, as it pertains to the bubble, this is an opportunity decision. As it pertains to the bubble, this is giving someone the opportunity to, the ball is tipped, there you are, be in one clip for 0.7 seconds in the One Shining Moment video. Why? Because, you know what? Fine, I'll stoop to your level. I'll play the hypotheticals game. Miami of Ohio is not going to the Final Four. But you know who else is not going to the Final Four? Alabama, Virginia, Tennessee. You know who else is not going to the Final Four? California, Stanford, NC State, Auburn, Missouri. These teams on and around the bubble that, hey, at team number 68 that we allow into the play-in, at-large bid, at the final at-large bid that we allow into the tournament, into the play-in, does it matter if it's Miami of Ohio or Auburn? Because I personally, call me a freak, but if I know neither of those teams can compete for a national championship, I would rather see Miami of Ohio, that is far more deserving, get into the NCAA tournament. I'd rather follow that story than the story of, here they come. 17 wins and 16 losses on their docket. It's the Auburn Tigers. I don't give a rat's ass about that. We're just wasting space with another big name because you've heard the big name. And now, the Miami of Ohio athletic director has responded to Bruce Pearl. David Saylor challenged Pearl over what he called disrespect after the former Auburn coach told Barstool that the undefeated Red Hawks don't deserve a spot in the NCAA tournament. Miami, Ohio's AD said, "You are flat out wrong about Miami when you say we would finish last in the Big East. The disrespect is awful, and you should not be near a TV studio covering this sport when you show your true colors." Of course, the analytics all hate Miami of Ohio. Well, strength of schedule is 300-something. Oh, 29-0 doesn't matter because their net ranking's in the 50s. Oh, they shouldn't make the tournament if they lose a game. They have to win their tournament no matter what. Pearl said they're not one of the best teams in the country, so we shouldn't let them in the tournament. If that's the barometer, if that's the litmus test, is you have to be one of the best teams in the country, then guess what? Only like 12 teams should get in this year. If that's what we're doing, because the gap is so large now due to the portal and NIL that the haves are stacking up. The have-nots are not. Saylor said this guy belongs nowhere near a TV studio concerning anything to do with March Madness when he says things like this. The disrespect for what our team's accomplishing is disgusting, and I will not stand by and listen to it. Hell yeah. It's the first time that I have ever heard the name of the Miami of Ohio athletic director, David Saylor. But I'm happy I did today. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. Progressivecommercial.com. Biggest losers. Aaron Judge's inability to deliver a speech in the locker room. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. You're going to like it. This, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, is the Drake Toll Show.
Go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation gladly conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity. But that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to brawl. Serve your client notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene. An amnesiac, a himbo and all. I guess time does make fools of us all.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Can I be honest with you, world, people of America? I will turn on the NFL Network. I'll watch the combine. I'll rev it up. But this year particularly, I've been a little bored. The David Bailey thing happened last week. But since then, Mekhi Lemon looked good. I'm not sure, because usually it's, can I get a breaking news, please, Curtis? Per Adam Schefter, that quarterback you really like, who plays for a really good school that made the quarterfinals, the college football playoff, has the smallest hands mankind has ever seen. See, that's usually what the headline is, right? Somebody walks out of the combine, and they're always like, ha, 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 look how small his hands are. He can't play in the football league to do the football. No one's like, damn, man, no one's had small hands this year. Everybody's got normal-sized hands, the combine. Touch yourself. Nobody's done something really, really stupid. Like, you know, Kyler Murray had small hands. Joe Burrow had small hands. Baker Mayfield had small hands. You know what small hands means? Small mittens. And that the NFL probably won't want to draft you on your team, on their team. And then the situation where C.J. Stroud couldn't take the Wonderlick.
Who the heck wears mittens?
I've worn mittens before.
Mittens?
Yes.
Just...
Do you remember when C.J. Stroud couldn't take the Wonderlick? That was like a whole big.
Do you remember when my goat, Vince Young, the reason why nobody really wanted him is because of his Wonderlick results.
Every year there's one of those fun stories where either A, dude has small hands, or B, guy can't take Wonderlic. He has Derrick Rose syndrome. Like they paid somebody else to take the Wonderlic for him. And this year, nope. Pretty standard. We're just letting the guys go out there and be dudes, run their 40-yard dash. And then we go home. That's the latest in the NFL Combine. How about this? You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. It's time for our biggest losers of the day. This isn't funny. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. KATV Channel 7, the local news station in Little Rock, Arkansas, posts on Facebook. An Arkansas rancher, used to open fields and quiet mornings, now finds himself staring out at a skyline pierced by missile interceptions as two Arkansans are sheltered in Qatar. The comments are incredible. I'm trying to imagine my grandpa, who's a farmer, just being in the Middle East. Followed by, hey, what you doing over there, bud? Why is an Arkansan in Qatar? Also a great point. That is front row seat for the Arkansan in Qatar. Never leave the farm again. Why is an Arkansas rancher there? I guess you get to be a biggest loser. I don't know. I'm a big fan. I'm a proponent of travel. I am seeing a lot of these videos from Dubai where primarily just white people, the whitest people you've ever seen in your life, are stuck in airports and offering $500,000 to fly out on anyone's plane to leave Dubai because they're surrounded by war-torn countries and war-torn areas. Like, dog, never once in my life, in my happy little life in Savannah, Georgia, have I thought, I should move to Qatar. Or if I'm packing it up, I'm going to Dubai. Again, super pro-travel. But
Well, you just discovered who Kendrick whatever Lamar was yesterday.
I did just find out right? I've known Kendrick Lamar. We go back. I didn't know that Ayatollah wasn't his name. That was the first for me.
That's not Kendrick Lamar's name.
I didn't know Ayatollah wasn't the name of the supreme leader of Iran.
Wow.
I thought Ayatollah was just the guy's name. Jesus. You probably thought that too. Don't take the high ground here.
I did not think that.
How else was I supposed to know?
Education?
I was watching live when Luke May hit that shot for UNC from 16 feet out to win the Sweet 16 and send his team to the Elite Eight. I was watching when Chris Chiozza hit the runner and nailed it against Ohio State to send Florida through in March Madness. I don't need to know that Ayatollah's not his name. I'm watching ball, man. My finger's on the pulse.
Okay.
Touch yourself. College basketball. Another biggest loser today. This is an insane tweet. Aaron Judge gave a speech, kind of hard to hear, so dial in. Gave a speech to Team USA, and Johnny Gunita tweets, Aaron Judge is probably the greatest hitter of my lifetime. With that being said, this might be the worst speech I've ever heard. Aaron, take it away.
Sacrifice for your family at home, you're sacrificing for your country, and you're sacrificing for the brothers in the trenches with every single day. And that's one thing I want us to do, fellas. We're down, we're beat up a little bit, man. Lead into each other, man. We're going to lay it all on the line. If we do that, we'll bring it home now.
How nerdy is that?
They're in the trenches.
We're down. We're beat up a little bit, man. Lean into each other, man. We're going to lay it out on the line. And if we do that,
shot from the front, the back, whatever it is,
we're bringing the gold home, man. I'm telling you. How nerdy can you get in your pregame speech? Hey, so we're going to try really hard, guys. You're going to have a lot of fun out there. Thanks, Aaron Judge. Another biggest loser. I can't do it. I told myself I could do it. And I told myself I could put my bias aside for a moment and read this, but I cannot. Addie, you've included the Texas Rangers as the biggest losers today.
Always the Texas Rangers, because they stay embarrassing themselves.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
All right,
Now
put your
what?
bias aside. Put your bias aside. So there was a
I'm
statue.
listening.
Okay, there was a statue, if you look it up, that was in Dallas Love Field, right? Of a Texas Ranger from the 1960s and who it's based off of. They took it away from Dallas Love Field, the airport, and moved it to Globe Life Field. Why are they stupid? Why are they the biggest losers? Okay, so the era of which this person is based after, and the officer who it's based after, the Texas Ranger, was one of the lowest points for the Texas Rangers. Like, this was 1960, when Texas, obviously, segregation, they used the power of office
Which
resist.
we have decided was bad.
Well, yes. But who this statue is based off of was someone who would threaten black students and would see things happening and would just turn a blind eye. There was some really graphic stuff depicted at the entrance of Mansfield High School at the time, and the guy there's pictures of him just standing there. Like, he was actively kind of encouraging this sort of behavior. And so what the Texas Rangers did, by the way, I'm not saying the Texas Rangers, not the team, but like actual Rangers are all bad people. This was just a really dark time. What they should have done is put a Texas Ranger statue to honor those who were helping. Do you remember the floods in Texas last year?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
The biggest losers are the Rangers or the Rangers?
Your Texas Rangers, your baseball team, for putting
The
the statue in
baseball
their
team's the biggest loser.
Yeah.
They have the statue of guy
Yeah.
who committed domestic war crimes
Yes.
against black people.
Yes. And the Texas
following.
Rangers are like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. Let's just put this right here. Like, we have to see why why we don't do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've had the same take when it comes to the women's national team saying no to the State of the Union, or Josh Pate having Donald Trump on his show. Me turning the TV on and learning what Ayatollah is. In a world where you can build a statue of Pud Rodriguez, who did not harm the black community, or in a world where you can put up a statue of Josh Hamilton, who did harm some communities, do that instead. But yeah, I'm not incredibly perturbed, but just build a Pudge statue or a Josh Hamilton statue.
I think it's easy for some people to say they're not perturbed about it because it doesn't necessarily impact them.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know who doesn't have that statue in Texas? The Houston Astros. They just have an alien named Orbit.
Which, you know what? I wouldn't even do aliens. Too political. Build a
Orbit?
statue of
Are you
Jose Altuve.
anti-Orbit?
Yes. I'm anti the Texas Rangers statue that they put up at the Rangers field of the guy who was racist.
Yeah.
But that is, in saying that, I am saying I'm anti any statue, really. That's not just Kobe and Shaq. It's pretty. Well, I guess Kobe did those things too.
Mm-hmm.
Never
What
meet your
about
heroes.
Bucky, there's the Bucky statue. He's pretty cool.
Never meet your heroes. Team USA, biggest losers for pitching Tarek Skubal for 55 pitches against Great Britain, which he'll be able to throw a complete game shutout on 55 pitches against Great Britain. Those are our biggest losers of the day. Coming up, obituaries. We're killing off the stripper night at the Atlanta Hawks game? Probably. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie Bates produces this. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. It's the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One.
gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah.
I've seen men look at her before and they think I don't see. I'd like to think it makes me proud, but I'm always fooling me. I know she'll be looking back the minute I'm not there, while she pours herself on some stranger. I pour myself a drink somewhere. She's acting single, I'm drinking double.
That'll get you.
I hide my pain, I drown my trouble.
It is the Drake Toll Show.
My heart is breaking like the tiny bubble.
You feel that?
She's acting single, I'm drinking doubles.
Can I tell you a story?
Why not?
This could be bad.
Oh no.
I've got chills right now. I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. I cannot believe I'm going to tell this story. So, I was in a 3-year relationship. Look, the world's ready for this. I've had this job for what? A month, a little over 2 months. December 28th is our first day on the air. So I feel like you and I know each other now. The world, that's what I'm speaking to. Addie, I think it's time that you heard the story. Girlfriend of 3 years. Met her when I was at Baylor. She went to TCU. And
why are we talking about Baylor?
I got the job with the Bananas. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go from Waco, where I lived at the time working for ESPN Central Texas, to move to Savannah and work for the Bananas. Her and I had never lived in the same place. She was hanging out back home with her family in Washington. I was like, yeah, whatever. Cool. Let's go to Savannah. So she decides to move to Savannah as well. Doesn't work out within a couple months, 2-3 months. We end up breaking up. Just wasn't going to be a thing. I enjoy, like, what would happen is we go to LAX, okay? This is an example. We go to LAX, and somebody would be like, hey, are you Drake? Like, whoa. Like, that's, to me, personally, right? I'm 21 years old at the time, 22 years old, and someone at LAX asked for a picture. I'm like, that's the coolest thing in the world. I'm not going to hide from the audience of America listening on Westwood One Sports. That's a really cool thing that happens. And people are like, hey, we love your work. We know you. She hated it. Like, she'd walk out of those interactions and be like, that was the worst. I hated that. I'm like, why? She's like, I don't know. All this attention that you get, it just detracts from me. And I was like, this probably isn't going to work out long term. So a couple months into being in Savannah, it doesn't work out. We break up. And what happens is, it's the She's Acting Single song that was just played. It's like, what happens is probably a couple weeks later, she posts a picture, she soft launches with a dude that she worked with at this golf course. She was a waitress, he was a waiter. I was like, okay, awesome. A couple weeks after the 3 years, we're posting pictures with our coworkers who we have known for the last 3 months, thanks to, me moving you to Savannah. But all right, that's fine, whatever. So she back then had, she would occasionally come and visit and see the dog just to say hello, cordial, the fine terms. I didn't really care to be an ass about it. But after she was continuing to post this guy, I was like, who is this dude? So I look it up. Significantly older. And after one Google, I found his mugshot. He had been arrested.
Google me.
He had been arrested 2 weeks prior for not paying child support. So I learned quickly, like, oh, this guy's like an old dad who's the waiter at the golf course. And not only does he have a child, he's not paying child support for the child, and he's supposed to. So I kind of knew what I was doing. She came over one day to see the dog, and I was like, hey, saw you got a new guy. Congrats. Looks like that's going well. She's like, oh, yeah, he's cool. I was like, hope so. You feel like you're safe? She's like, what do you mean safe? It's like, well, I saw his mugshot, and she said, and I quote, what mugshot? There are very few moments in your life where time stands still and the moment gets, stadium pulse. Like, there are few bigger opportunities than to tell your ex-girlfriend that her new boyfriend had been arrested 2 weeks prior for not paying child support.
Wait, so she had a new boyfriend and she was still visiting you?
Yeah, she come see the dog. Again, it was cordial. We had moved to Savannah together. Like, this is...
Yeah. And y'all got the dog together?
No, I got the dog, but she had the rights to the dog. Like, she lived with the dog. This was like, hey, we are breaking up, but we also moved 2,000 miles away with one another, so whatever.
Okay. Just need clarity.
Yeah, it wasn't ever weird, but that day she blocked me. It was instantly when your ex tells you that your new flame has recently been arrested and shows you a picture of their mugshot, there's not a lot of recovering from that one. That's a really hard thing to have to drive home from. So I think she just hit block on everything, and we haven't talked since, which is fine. I think she texted me one time in the last year and a half because she, in my move, had her spare car key, and she wanted it, and I don't think I responded. I don't know what that car key is, man.
Drake told back on top.
I mean, that's a tough one. What do you do? You know, your ex calls you and is like, hey, congrats on your new boyfriend. He's a felon. He's not a felon, but, you know, you get the point.
A misdemeanor.
He's a misdemeanor. I'm sorry. Can I speak to – is there a Mr. Demeanor that I can speak to? Did you see the one yesterday, the misogynist one?
The what?
On Twitter.
What misogynist one?
Someone tweeted, and it's someone tweeted, I'm not a misogynist, but is there a Mr. Ogynist that I could speak to?
Oh, Jesus.
That wordplay. Some are calling it the tweet of all time. The tweet of all time.
We keeping it above right now, we ass.
I couldn't believe it. I'd never heard that joke before. I'd never heard that, which is bad, and we shouldn't do that. Remember?
Yes, bad.
Hillary Knight, Jack Hughes. You know the stories, the fables of old. SNL this weekend. It's time. You know what? Can we get crazy right now?
Yeah, go crazy,
I like
go
the
stupid.
I like the obituaries today, so I'm going to punt that into the next segment because I had to tell that story about my ex, which I feel comfortable telling. I feel like that was the right thing to do. I feel like you all were ready for that. It is then time, due to the change in programming, for the Quickie Top 5 headlines and all of sport. Addy Bates reads them. I have a minute to respond to each of them. And go. I can't wait for the question.
My favorite part is still to this day how when you get new girlfriends, you also get a new dog.
Every time.
Wow. What a habit. Here's your first headline.
Wait.
Talk. Yes.
Can I request that the headlines be, a little more strange today?
You want them to be strange?
Yeah, I know what you're going to ask. You're going to be like, oh, okay, Houston, Arizona wins basketball game.
Well, technically they're headlines, so it's the top topics. That's
Trae
the whole point of the
Trae Young
segment.
gets kicked out. Could you I don't know, do something crazy. It's fine, whatever. Read the headline.
Fine. Bad Bunny halftime show draws 4.2 billion global viewers in 24 hours to set the NFL Super Bowl record.
I personally didn't get it. I didn't understand a single word he's saying.
That's what I thought.
But I didn't know Bad Bunny did the halftime show. He wasn't at the halftime show that I watched, so I don't know what you're talking about. Who's Bad Bunny?
Curtis is Bad Bunny.
Oh, no, yeah. That happened at our Banana Land at Sea Cruise, which was 4 days after the Super Bowl. We had a trivia night, and somebody brought up, was it Cardi B or Meg Thee Stallion, whichever one was there. Which one was there? Who was it? Was it Cardi B?
Cardi B.
Yeah. Somebody brought up we were hosting a panel, and one of the panelists said, yeah, it's almost like Cardi B being at the Super Bowl halftime show, to which I chimed in with, I didn't see her.
You're such a dork.
I shouldn't make that joke in public.
You're such a dork. Okay, here's your next headline. NBA player Luke Cornett calls out Hawks to cancel promotion with Magic City Adult Entertainment Club.
Yeah, look, I don't have kids personally. Maybe one day that's in the fold for me. I understand that we have become more open as a society to new things, trying new things and branching out. I don't need my 9-year-old to say, what is Magic City Night? And me be like, it's where the naked people dance around at the bar. And our favorite basketball team is doing a promotion out of it. I get it. It's an institution. The Claremont Lounge is also an institution in Atlanta. It's like a grandma strip club. It's a bunch of elderly women who dance around. That's funny.
I'm still going to wonder, whenever you think of Magic City Night, the first thing that comes to your brain is, yeah, kids at this. Not like,
right.
Like why?
Because adults can do whatever they want. If you said, hey, 21 and up, The game starts at 10 p.m. Everybody gets hammered. It's an open bar. That's a whole different theme to this. But in my brain, I'm still the 11-year-old going to a Razorback baseball game. You know, I'm still the 11-year-old going to a Grizzlies game to see the Spurs play because I like the Spurs. And so there will be an 11-year-old who's like, what's Magic City night? I just don't love that. I think it's unnecessary. So you know what? Yes, I too signed me up for the petition to cancel the stripper night at the Atlanta Hawks game.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. Jeez, half of this country.
I have the right to go to Hooters. I do.
Did you know this, that at Hooters you can't have tattoos showing?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That'd be
remember,
fine. I have zero tattoos. Addie has like 3 different sleeves. I have 0.
But isn't that you can have everything else showing, but we draw the line at tattoos?
Addie asks for a raise every 3 days to get more tattoos. The company's like, you haven't done anything new here. Like, no, I need more tattoos.
I do. I haven't got one in 2 months. I need more.
Like, I spend $2,000 on a sauna. Addie spends $2,000 on like a snake.
I don't have any snakes on. No.
Wrapped around a gourd, and she just puts it on her bicep. All right. It helps her bowling.
I don't bowl anymore, but thank you.
She hung it up, folks. You heard it here. She's retired.
Yeah, I'm washed up. The Athletics have the best ABS challenge success rate so far this spring.
Moneyball. Moneyball.
Mic drop.
Hear me out. His swing's terrible. Both his knees are shot. And he can't count to 17 due to concussions. But he's damn good at the ABS system.
Do you want to know what their success rate is?
Let's recreate him in the aggregate. What is their success rate?
69%.
That's it? That's the best one?
Oh, Jesus. Yes.
Wow, okay. I guess I just thought the success rate would be higher than that.
Golly.
The players begged for it. There needs to be a number we set it at. And if you're not above 75%, just do away with the ABS. It's already taking too long.
It adds, by the way, to a game, it adds about 1 minute to a game total.
And I don't like that minute.
That's too long for Drake.
Genuinely, coming from Banana Ball, like a minute matters. Like we want to make sure people are entertained and engaged. If they just tap their helmet and you tell me, all right, ball or strike, we know instantly. Just say it. Don't go through the whole like pan the camera and then show the pitch and whoa! Like don't do that.
You're making me like double down harder on my belief that Banana Ball is because of our lack of attention spans now.
Yeah, I mean partially, but that's obviously.
I don't think adding a minute to a game is that crazy. Look how long NFL games are.
And they're mostly commercials.
Exactly.
But baseball is mostly standing around, so.
Same with NFL. You have a play and then they just, wander around for a second and go, ugh.
Yeah, that's where hockey, basketball, the ball's always in play. They use every minute, which is cool.
And a minute's too long for Drake. Anyways, Arizona wins Big 12. Lloyd calls out soft narrative.
We hate a soft narrative.
Just like Drake hates a minute.
If your narrative is soft, we better be getting that thing up. Get that narrative right. I don't even know what the soft narrative would be. Is there more context on that?
Sorry, I thought you were the host of Locked On Big 12, so I'm a little confused.
Okay, this is Westwood One Sports.
Aren't you the Big 12 guy?
I just don't know what the soft narrative is. Arizona is a Final Four team, and they were dominant in their win again yesterday. This one over Iowa State. Braden Burries, man, buy stock now. Koa Pete's the guy that gets the attention, but Braden Burries is just that good.
Here, I'll read the quote. You ready? I think the narrative that we were soft is lazy. I mean, look at our stats. Look at our analytics. We've always been great rebounding team. We've always pounded the paint.
Who the hell called them soft? What an idiot.
Pingus? I don't know.
I've never even heard of Lativia. What's the last headline?
That was your last headline.
Trae Young? You didn't even put Trae Young in there?
I did. I started saying that, and then you said, I want different headlines. I literally started with Trae Toss, and you said, wait. Can I have something different, Addie?
No different headlines. All of the normal headlines. Trae Young ejected before he even plays his first game with Washington.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome. Credit to Trae Young for getting the ejected. He wasn't soft.
I don't like this.
Coming up, our obituaries. And the World Baseball Classic is almost here. Here's what you need to know to be an expert when you go to the betting polls or just to watch it for fun, because I love watching things for fun. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The Cowboys place the
Well, when I was young, my mama read me nursery rhymes beside my bed. And though they sounded mighty fine, they made no sense to me. Now that I am all grown up, it seems my nights have changed as such. So I went out and made me up a nursery rhyme for me. It goes bar light, bar bright, first bar that I see tonight. Wish I might find someone to hold me tight. Hey, diddle, diddle, the man with the fiddle and the girl sing along with the tunes. Just one more dance till you turn out the lights and you can shut down this saloon. You know, I never understood how a big old gal could raise no kids in a shoe. And any old jack goes jumping a candle needs to find something better to do. And a rub-a-dub-dub 3-minute tub sure sounds kind of funny to me. So I made up a honky-tonk nursery rhyme, and it's the only one I'll sing. It goes bar light, bar bright, first bar that I see tonight. Wish I might find someone to hold me tight. Hey, diddle, diddle, the man with the fiddle and the girl sing along with the tunes. Just one more dance till you turn out the lights and you can shut down this saloon. I said I never understood how a big old gal could raise no kids in a shoe. And any old jack goes jumping a candle needs to find something better to do. And a rub-a-dub-dub 3-minute tub sure sounds kind of funny to me. So I made up a honky-tonk nursery rhyme, and it's the only one I'll sing. It goes bar light, bar bright, first bar that I see tonight. Wish I might find someone to hold me tight. Hey, diddle, diddle, the man with the fiddle and the girl sing along with the tunes. Just one more dance till you turn out the lights and you can shut down this saloon. I said just one more dance till you turn out the lights and you can shut down this saloon.
brisk dawn approaches. In the distance, a shadowy red sphere. You think to yourself, that can't be the moon. The moon's not red. The moon's white. A yellow glow. Cheese-like. But no, not this moon. Not anymore. Every now and then, I'll stare at the sky and believe. Believe in something more. I'll believe in things like the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. You ever seen Tim and Eric? You ever watched any Tim and Eric? Ever gotten around to them?
No.
That's okay. He's the meme of the guy going with the fireworks coming out of his brain, the GIF, where they all really, no kidding. Tim Heidecker, really good stuff. You got to get into that. They do the Universe, really great bit. It's an old Adult Swim thing. You'll get it when you're older. Are you ready for the obituaries?
Yeah, sure, why not?
It's time for the obituaries. Who is dead today? Number 1, Jeffrey Epstein. Allegedly. This happened at a hearing yesterday. Lauren Boebert is questioning Hillary Clinton. And usually you hear that, but I don't even care. I'm tired of listening to this. But this is pretty good. Boebert says, Mr. Epstein left comments, hey, Hillary Clinton is much prettier in person, to which Clinton interjected, I'm not going to object to that. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, she's way prettier in person. Well, what do you want me to do? Say he was lying? Obituary number 2. Say goodbye to chivalry. This comes from Barstool, Western Kentucky. Their university-specific account, Barstool Western. It says, allegedly, Indiana pitcher Reagan Rivera was part of a pitching rotation that gave up 14 runs in a loss to Western Kentucky. He then, allegedly, tried to slide into a WKU student's DMs and got curved. Reagan Rivera, according to the screenshot, says, hey, Emily, to who I can only assume is Emily. She says, oh, hi. He says, well, what are you up to tonight? Her response is, partying. But you should probably sleep in since you pitch like crap. Gals
Thank
rock
God this
again.
was in our Idiots of the Day, too, by the way.
I wanted it now.
God,
Why can't chivalry be dead?
why do I make these? Why do I make these?
We
runouts?
can just do it twice.
No.
Also,
Get it right the first time.
dead today would be. You want to know something very funny?
Doing it twice.
I was accidentally on Idiots of the Day. I had scrolled too far in the.
Are you?
Dead today, Magic City night. As we mentioned, there is a strong petition going around. I'll read the direct quote to you of Luke Cornett asking the Hawks to cancel Magic City night. This would be like doing a night about the timeout or about Club 11 in Miami. 11 night. Cornett says it's disrespectful to women. The NBA should desire to protect and esteem women, many of whom work diligently every day to make this the best basketball league in the world. We should promote an atmosphere that is protective and respectful of the daughters, wives, sisters, mothers, and partners that we know and love. Allowing this night to go forward without protest would reflect poorly on us as an NBA community, specifically in being complicit in the potential objectification and mistreatment of women in our society. That sounds a lot like ChatGPT. There's a lot of ChatGPT going on.
You know how you protect women. You know what? Why is Zion still playing?
Kobe! Yes. So Luke Cornett is saying don't do the strip club night at the Hawks game because we want to desire and the NBA should desire to protect and esteem women. We don't need to. We're not desiring women. We're keeping from doing that at our Hawks game. Thoughts on the quote itself as a woman?
I think that's just, I don't know, wishy-washy. That's pish-posh. You protect women by not letting the people who have allegations of DV back in the league. It's not Magic City night that's going to be going against women and bringing us down.
What if we did both? What if we said no strip club night and don't hit your girlfriend?
I would also argue that most of those professionals at those clubs will say, like, that is their choice. They like what they do. That is on them, and that is their prerogative.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of being, like, here in America. That's your prerogative to do that as a career.
I wouldn't disagree with that. If you want to tastefully dance nude, I'm not going
Drake's
to stop
first in line.
you. I don't. It's Paul Revere fought for our freedom.
This is it.
You have the freedom to do that. When he said the British are coming, this was his thought. There'll be Magic City night one day at the Atlanta Hawks game because I fought the British.
But they're also, like, the thing is that it's really honoring Atlanta. Like, they're going to have T.I. performing. They're going to have, like, they're not going to have women out there, like.
I understand, but I can have T.I. perform without saying it's strip club night.
They didn't say it was. It's Magic City night.
But it is. But
they have the wings. It's in a store. It's actually famous.
You know what? For science, I'll go to Magic City. I'll test it out, and maybe I'll have a different opinion. I'll eat the wings.
Are you going to have, like, a GoPro?
I don't think I'm going to wear a GoPro in the strip club. Thank you for your suggestion, though. HR is really going to like that one. Dead today. Damn it. Kylian Mbappe's ACL. What you got on this one?
Yeah. ACL injury. It's probably gonna miss the World Cup.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Is that real?
Yes.
New York Times says Kylian Mbappe's not expecting surgery on left knee. Ooh, yeah, he might miss the games. Oh, left knee sprain, no surgery planned. So a sprain, I don't know. Maybe. I'm getting conflicting reports here.
Maybe you should just do what Lindsey Vonn does.
You screenshotted a tweet from FIFA Central, which is at FIFA Centro, and their source is at The Hate Central.
Yes, I also looked this up afterwards because I thought that was a little interesting, so I looked it up too.
Thank you for doing your research.
Of course, I only have a journalism degree, so.
He has 130 million followers on Instagram.
Are you jealous?
I mean, dog, I would be set for life if I had that. Would you rather have $100,000 right now or 100,000 followers?
Just want to be loved and appreciated.
Amen. I would rather have 100,000 followers, to which, again, my dad is screaming. People are in the car like, no, you would not rather have 100,000 followers. That's stupid. That doesn't mean nothing. Here's the thing, though. That equates to a lot. Better job opportunities. In today's world, people are hiring for social media followers. Job opportunities, they're hiring for impressions, they're hiring for your ability to network via social media. If you have 100,000 followers, you're asking for brand deals, you're asking for jobs, you're asking for an agent, you're asking for money. Take the followers.
You're saying I should take my Instagram off of private. Go public.
You can do whatever you want. Look, if you want to have a strip club night at your basketball game, do it.
Oh, I came up with other great ideas. Like, I want like a true 80s night. Like, first 100 people get never mind. Free. Yeah, like, we got to bring back this kind of fun stuff, okay? I like it.
Hey, have a Charlie's Angels night. That's fine. I would just draw the line at the strip club night.
Sorry. They're not actually going to be there.
I know, but I don't want to promote it.
We're not.
There was a legendary strip club in Waco that Parker McCollum and Co Wetzel wrote songs and stories about. Doesn't mean that we have to have a night for it at the local high school football game.
Do you know the song Yellow Rose of Texas?
Yellow Rose of Texas, the only gal. Yeah.
Yeah, you know who that's you know what that's about?
A girl who lives in Texas.
She was a famous stripper.
She was a what?
Yes! We've
Stripper.
been honoring this profession for years. This is not
I
new.
know her. Final obituary today. Say goodbye to Tingus Pingus. There's no way you have that soundbite, right? Tingus Pingus? I emailed it to you so long ago. I've never heard of Tingus Pingus. Do you?
Curtis,
you can use,
Curtis,
you
that's
can
your
use
cue.
your words. You
Curtis.
can use your words here.
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh.
We have Sinatra.
Steve Kerr says Kristaps Porzingis' current illness is a little mysterious. So, which I would love any and all context. Sadly, Steve Kerr is not on the Drake Toll Show right now, but I would love to know what that means and where we go from here. But I'm not sure if we're going to get an answer on what's actually going on with Tingus Pingus. The Warriors did lose last night to the Clippers, 114-101. I'm officially off the Warriors train. Both of those teams are hapless, and I hate them now. It was a fun night in the NBA, though. The Jazz almost rallied to beat the Nuggets. The Nuggets have struggled a lot here recently, so this is further exacerbating their struggles. Celtics over the Bucks, 108-81 on the road. And the Rockets, also winners on the road. Every road team won in the NBA last night. Rockets over the Wizards, 123-118. But 3 games, I'm including the Clippers game in there, is really good games. They had to rally. Los Angeles did to beat Golden State late in the contest. You know what? One more obituary. Naming cats normal things. Had a friend one time with a cat named Breadstick. But I think worse than Breadstick is Addie naming her cat Sinatra Bublé Bates.
That's not a bad name.
Kill it with fire. Not
Oh my
the cat.
gosh.
The name.
She has blue eyes. We've been over this. Like Sinatra, old blue eyes.
And a chicken leg.
She's right here. She can hear you.
Let her. Turn it up.
And Bublé is because it's like another one of my favorite artists.
You
And
tell her I said it. Sinatra Bublé it's just such a silly, it's such a fringe guy thing.
You're
to name
right,
your cat.
because I can see how you could look down on us while you're up there with Bear and Sunday.
Yeah, that was cute.
So is Sinatra.
Bublé.
I don't call her Sinatra Bublé unless she's in trouble. I call her Sinatra or Big
It's like if I
Sig
named
or
an
Piggy.
animal Wallen Combs. You think that's really stupid. Wallen Combs is really stupid.
Well, Sinatra's not
Wallen,
racist.
Luke
Got him.
We live in a society, man. We just
Where
be saying
Drake's
things.
offended by Magic City Night.
They're paying people just to be saying things. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Protect small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressivecommercial.com. The top 25 is out. A brand new top 25. What changed and should it have changed? And where does Iowa State go after they lose again? Also, the World Baseball Classic. Tarek Skubal, you're making me really sad. You're making me really, really sad. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The Lions have traded running back David Montgomery to the Texans. The
she hit me like that. Saw that thing so beautiful. She just hit my heart, oh. Full force and she got me like I be like, baby, why you so fine? Got to make you mine. So hard to find. Baby like, oh, how'd you do the thing? The way that you do it and she ain't even show nothing. She be walking around so confident, so heaven sent. I think she was meant to knock some daylight. Like, girl, you so fine. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Girl, you rockin' like sublime, super fine. She was never lying, strutting in the heels or her slides. Either way, eyes on her every single day, week, year. Everyone wondering how she does it with no fear. All that confidence, was it heaven sent? Does it come within? Does it come run out? I don't know. She'll just have them running out and in. Man, they want to sin, talking deadly sin with Mrs. Lady. I don't understand why she hit them like girl, you knock 'em dead. Oh, oh, oh. How you do the things you do? Baby, you knock 'em dead. I'm already said.
Touch yourself. Touch yourself.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belfort. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Sipping on Ciroc, trip 'em up with the word.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Addy Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. I thought at some point the song would get old, but it just doesn't. It just scratches the right part of my brain. It's about to get really vulgar, by the way. Turn it down. Turn it down. Kurt. Playing with fire over there, big guy.
Curtis, what's the new pie chart that was behind you, that was hung up during the show?
Yeah, what's going on here?
I don't know. I don't even look at what happens behind me. I'm not sure.
All right, spin yourself around there. What's that pie chart going
It's
on?
the clock. It's that thing that we run on every hour.
No, that. Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know if this was like your bonk to no bonk ratio on a show.
Well, it would be a lot. It would be a lot larger than
So,
that.
for those who've never worked in radio or don't, which I wouldn't have known this until probably 2 months ago when I got hired, every radio station has a clock, and it's just this circle on a piece of paper or PDF. And I don't know why we do this as a circle. It makes it harder for me to read. And in color are the times you're on the air, hi, hello, talking. And in gray, usually, is the time you're in break. So we hit breaks. When do we hit breaks, everyone?
Well, we're supposed to hit
whenever
15.
Drake wants to.
Yeah,
That's what-
15,
that's what-
35, but it's usually whatever Drake
Yes.
feels.
It's supposed to be 15. It's like 6:15, 6:35. Then what's the fun one?
54.
And
Ooh, 25?
25 seconds. Yep. 6:54 and 25 seconds. And we got to be out by then. If you're not,
What is that called when you have to be out?
that's a hard out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard out. Nice. People are learning. We're all learning about radio here. I saw a screenshot of Dave Portnoy and Bruce Pearl on, I guess Pearl had joined Portnoy's podcast.
Yeah, it's in Idiots of the Day.
And someone had commented, like, I would rather do anything but listen to this. And we will discuss that Idiots of the Day. And I got to thinking of, like, that's a crazy combo, Bruce Pearl and Dave Portnoy. I think you're one Alex Jones away from really making the thing crazy. Isn't Alex Jones is the one who's turning the frogs gay?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
And he
Also
said
was sued into oblivion, yeah.
yeah, he said that Sandy Hook didn't happen, right?
Yes.
To which all of the survivors and parents of Sandy Hook were like, hey, so we're going to sue you for millions of dollars. And they won?
Yep, that's him.
All right, cool. Just making sure I have my guys. Yep. Just making sure I have my guys right there.
That was to InfoWars.
I don't know what any of that means. But I'm here for it. On a Tuesday, March 3rd, 7:44 and 53 seconds in the a.m. Eastern Time. And the World Baseball Classic is on its way. Am I right for saying I am frustrated with the way that Tarek Skubal and the United States are approaching this system? This Friday, the Americans, I should be clear, the United States-ins will play their opening game against Brazil of this tournament. And Aaron Judge is playing. Some of your favorite stars from the MLB are going to be out there. Clayton Kershaw is on the team, trying to win gold in 2026 with a bunch of future Hall of Famers. As the USA proves, it's the best baseball nation in the world. Now, proving that's going to be tough because Japan exists, and Japan won it last time. So, oops. Let's see how this all breaks down for the United States of America. But it would break down better if Tarek Skubal was actually going to pitch. Addy, last I saw, Skubal will pitch in Game 2 of the World Baseball Classic for the USA. And, hold on, wait a second. He's only throwing 55 pitches?
So he's going to be pitching against Great Britain, which we know is not great.
And they
Brazil's
suck.
also not great. It should take him 55 pitches to complete that game, hopefully. But it almost just kind of seems like, hey, like, you could have gotten literally anybody else to pitch this game, and they probably would have won. Like, just, you know what, I would have saved the start. I know it's fun to say you represented, but, like, kind of, did you? Like, just stay at spring training. We know you're amazing. We know you've won 2 back-to-back Cy Young awards. Maybe let someone else do this and pitch against Great Britain, because really anybody could. I would put you and Curtis out there.
So why is Skubal not going to continue the duration here for the United States?
Well, because one wants to save an arm, because now we know that pitchers get injured all the time. Two, he did say like he wants to go back to spring training and still work on his stuff so he can help the Tigers, because the Tigers, if you remember last season, pretty good. Didn't win the division, which was crazy. But they want to contend again. They have a rotation. They brought back Justin Verlander. They have Framber Valdez. They have Skubal. So now they actually have pitchers in that rotation, which they were kind of lacking last year. So I think he feels like he would rather save his arm. That way he can help his team contend this season, which, I mean, I respect. I do. And I understand, like, we don't want him going out there throwing 100 pitches in, like, a start. But at the same time, it's Great Britain. Like, I
do.
can't emphasize this enough. Like, anyone could pitch that.
I'm sorry. I would rather watch the WBC than I would watch the Detroit Tigers on a Tuesday.
Yeah, but he's also thinking long-term, like World Series, postseason. Because every start matters for a pitcher.
True, yeah, because people forget, and I always forget, it's human nature that the game on April 26th matters just as much as the game on August 26th.
Real ball knowers know it does.
I forget that every year. I'm always like, oh, it's a Wednesday. The Rangers can lose. It's fine. 3-2 to the Marlins, whatever. I'll forget it. But don't forget it. Those stack up. Those start to add up.
That actually came back to bite them in the ass last year at the very end when they were skidding the entire, final month. And they were in control of that division the entire season until that final month. And the Guardians were like, hey, we're still the Guardians. Like, every game does matter. So I understand that every start matters because it ages a pitcher. And the way he's throwing, the way he's been dealing, you want to preserve that arm as much as you can. But I think the big thing is, maybe somebody else should be pitching here.
It's America, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and, I had a, former pitcher tell me, he's still playing for the Marlins, Tommy John surgery, rite of passage nowadays. And that's really how it is. They are, the way they are pitching nowadays is so different than it was 20, 30 years ago.
Well, we should go back to whatever we were doing that made them not get Tommy Johns.
Oh, my goodness. But what about spin rate? What about movement? All that.
Here we go. Giants ace Logan Webb starting game 1 of the World Baseball Classic against Brazil on Friday. And Tarek Skubal, game 2, 55 pitches. Yeah, it's set up. The Mark DeRosa said about Skubal after the first workout. Obviously, guardrails for the tournament, pitch count-wise, but there's also guardrails for guys having to throw on certain days to get ready for their team's opening day. That will be the case here for Skubal. Seems like for Webb, he's just full go. Whatever, who cares? Aaron Judge, he's there. You've heard the name Bryce Harper. He's there. World Baseball Classic. It's set. Did you watch this last time? We lost, by the way.
Yes, I know that. And yes, I did watch it last time.
Yep.
I'll be working it this time. I'll be working those games.
What do you mean working those games?
Well, certain stations have coverage, and so I'll be working those games remotely to make sure that we are on air and broadcasting and producing from afar. I'll be producing from afar.
Westwood won?
No.
Okay. I was about to say, we're doing World Baseball Classic?
No. My other job.
Okay, gotcha. You have other jobs? Damn.
What?
I got to get me some of that. The top 25 came out. And I a glaring omission here. As a team that is top 20 still in net, I think BYU, they still have. It's weird that AJ DeBonza, number 1 player in the world, number 1 draft pick, the NBA, is outside of the top 25. They've been losing since they lost a pretty key starter, but not to the point of us being dramatic enough to drop BYU out of the top 25. And elsewhere here, Tennessee will play South Carolina tonight on the road. If Tennessee loses that game, South Carolina cannot make the tournament. If Tennessee loses that game, and they're 8.5-point favorites, their seeds they become a 6 seed. They become a 7 seed. This is the part of the year where if you're Alabama and you're playing at Georgia, pretty good chance Georgia makes the tournament. If you're Bama and you lose, you're now going from a 4 seed to a 5 seed. If you're Texas Tech, the number 10 team in the country, you're risking a loss at home to TCU. You're risking dropping from a possible 2 seed or 3 seed to the 4 or the 5. That's what we're tracking now. What you should be tracking at this point of the year is who can bolster their resumes for seeding. Can a team like Clemson, 21-8 overall, yet still outside the top 25, 11-5 in ACC play, can they win at North Carolina? And what does that do for them, moving from the 7 line to the 6 line, the 5 line? The reason we watch college basketball in March, and not just on March 20th when we're in full swing in the tournament, not just on March 28th when we're in the Elite Eight. The reason we watch basketball as soon as March begins is because we need to know, is number 9 Nebraska going on the road to beat UCLA? And if UCLA loses that game, how are their March Madness seeds impacted? Are they a play-in team? You'll remember, there's that first 4 thing that we do in March where 68 teams get in, and they'll have to play. It's like the 11 seeds and a couple 16 seeds. will have to play 4 total games, 8 total teams in these play-ins to try to make their way to the actual big dance, the actual March Madness. UCLA could be one of those if they don't start winning. Vanderbilt at Ole Miss, you might not care. Number 24 Vandy, unranked Ole Miss. But Chris Beard, you know that name, he's the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, might not be there anymore. He might ship things off and even go to Kansas State next season and get a fresh start because things haven't gone the way he wanted them to go as it pertains to his tenure out in Oxford. In the SEC, plenty of games for teams on the bubble, like LSU traveling to Auburn. If Auburn loses that game, they are out of the NCAA tournament. I've mentioned a couple of times Kentucky and Texas A&M, 2 teams in a very similar spot. The winner of this game can squarely say, hey, I'm an 8 seed, 7 seed. The loser of this game says, oh, no, I'm a 10. I'm an 11. Not where you want to be. Find yourself in the play-in. Alabama at Georgia is the one I'm circling, though. That's where I think Bama's a 1.5 point favorite. Georgia has the backcourt to win. Now, what does it do to Alabama? Seems like Joe Lunardi and the ESPN have really liked the SEC. So it might not hamper them much at all. Georgia is a team that opened as a 2.5 point favorite, find themselves as 1.5 point dogs now. Buy stock, though. Jeremiah Wilkinson and company. Buy stock in what they can do tonight, namely after their 87-68 victory on Saturday against South Carolina. Dominant. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. When we come back, Idiot of the Day, and then ESPN's Roy Philpott joins the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Call or text us. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
Too much of that old whiskey river leaves a young man feeling old. That old love you still remember, that you deep down in your soul. Lost that girl down in New Orleans, chasing some old voodoo dream. Levee broke on Whiskey River, got me trying to swim upstream. Getting tired of going crazy, headed back to Tennessee. I gotta crawl on out of this river, before it drive me in the sea. Shotgun Willie on stereo, words speaking right to my heart. If I keep reaching for that bottle, it's gonna tear my world apart. Getting tired of going crazy, heading back to Tennessee. I gotta crawl on out of that river, or it drown me in the sea. One more cup of coffee, old cafe tomorrow. Get my head together, ride my Cadillac back home. Getting tired of going crazy, heading home to Tennessee. I crawl on out of that
I got glue on my string. That's the way that the world goes round. I know a guy that's got a lot to lose. He's a pretty nice fella, kinda confused, got muscles in his head, ain't never been used, thinks he owns half of this town. Starts drinking heavy, gets a big red nose, beats his old lady with a rubber hose, then he takes her out to dinner, buys her new clothes. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. You up one day, the next you down. Desmond has a barrow in the marketplace. Molly is the singer in a band. Desmond says to Molly, girl, I like your place. And Molly says that she takes him by the hand. Oh, Daddy, oh, Gaja, life goes on. La, 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 life goes on. Oh, Daddy, oh, Gaja, life goes on.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Bringing us back into the 8 o'clock hour, that would be the Beatles with their hit Obla Di Bla Da, the best Beatles song ever.
Say it again.
I don't.
Okay.
Legally, I don't have to. Why are you berating me?
I just want to know how you said the name of the song again.
Obla Di Obla Da.
There it is.
It's what I said. What did you hear? Wrong.
Not that. Is that your favorite song by them?
No, probably not. I think it would be weird to say that it's your favorite Beatles song, right?
What's your favorite Beatles song?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
Okay. Get back to me.
What are the odds that the Colts franchise tag Daniel Jones? 4 Eastern. Anyone can use their franchise tag until 4 Eastern, so about 8 hours-ish until the franchise tags are up. Then you have a week and free agency begins. Max Crosby, Dallas Cowboy. Max Crosby, the military, possibly. We are at war. We could use him. He'd be good at the war thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to speak on the one medium where that's the entire thing that we do for our jobs.
Yep.
It's time for Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
Addie, could you turn your vacuum cleaner off, please? Trae Young, got some audio with this, is our first Idiot of the Day for being ejected before playing his first game with the Washington Wizards.
We have a technical foul on Trae Young for running on the court, and he's been ejected.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Can't get him on the court, though.
We have a defensive foul on Houston, and the play is being reviewed to see if it's potentially flagrant.
Trae Young hasn't even played a game yet for the Wizards.
Hey, but this is...
Can't do that.
And he's just as mad as I am.
Very seldom do you hear an official in the NBA or the NFL or really any professional league say a player's name. You know, it's usually just common foul, white, 5, play is under review. No, he just came to the microphone and said, Trae Young, technical foul on you, and you're ejected. Get out of here. Young was upset with the call, ran on the court. You can't run on the court during an NBA game. It doesn't really matter who you are. But if you're a player especially, you're going to get kicked out of the game. A fan will also be kicked out, but the player, it becomes a story on the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app. So his first ejection as a Wizard is before he's even played a game. He hopes to be back soon, but injuries have plagued Young this year. The Wizards star. He's a star in the NBA. When he does play his first game, will have already been ejected once. Also, idiot of the day. Bruce Pearl and Dave Portnoy teamed up for an all-time slam fest to punish and slap Miami of Ohio for their shortcomings as it pertains to March Madness and their resume. Dave Portnoy and Bruce Pearl, everybody.
I guess if you put them in one of these big boy conferences, especially you look some of the down, the Big East or some of these others, they're going to be in the top half of that conference. I would.
No way. No way.
Yes way.
No way. No way. And you're a way better gambler than me. There's no chance. They're not built for the grind of a Big Ten or even a Big East. In the Big East Conference this year, they'd finish in the lower half. They may not finish last, but I'll tell you what, I'm not so sure. I'm so sure.
You think they could be a last place Big East team?
Well, who's the last place team? It would be DePaul. It'd be Marquette. I don't know. Now, I think over a long. Now, can you have one shining moment? Can you be 9-17 the first round of the NCAA tournament, have that one shining moment, and pull off the upset? Sure, but conference play is a grind.
Miami of Ohio cannot take the grind. And I've been saying that. They're really bad at the grind. That's me being facetious. It is incredibly stupid to me that we have given Bruce Pearl a microphone to spew SEC propaganda, to spew propaganda about his son's team. He even commented, there is no nepotism involved in this, but I think that Auburn should be in the NCAA tournament. No, there is absolutely nepotism involved. You are the father of Auburn's new coach after you stepped down in a very weird way the day before the first practice. So I'm not buying. And now you think the undefeated college basketball team, the only undefeated team in America, you're going to disparage them and say they don't deserve, as he said earlier on the show, they don't deserve to be in March Madness if they lose a game. They have to win their conference tournament to play their way in. If you're 31-1, you are a lock. You should be a lock for the NCAA tournament. I firmly believe that about Miami of Ohio. And by the way, I think it was Pete Souza came on the show and said, hey, what you have to understand, Western Kentucky or Miami of Ohio or FAU, some of these teams can compete because while Duke has top-end talent in college basketball, the best players in college basketball, the NIL and the portal to go grab 5 stars, that means that they're not garnering near as many of those 4-star guys. Like the 85th ranked player in the country coming out as a freshman, that guy can't go to Duke anymore. Like he wants to go get a bag and be a starter at Western Kentucky for a year and then transfer out. That's what could even out play in March Madness and make things a little bit more interesting. But if you ask Bruce Pearl, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Not a fan of Miami of Ohio. He would hate the New England Patriots in 2025. Oh, the schedule's too easy. They don't deserve it. We play a hypothetical game where we think in the back of our mind that Miami of Ohio would finish 10th in the Big East, and because of that, we hold them out of any opportunities they rightfully deserve. That sucks. Thank you, Bruce Pearl. Idiot of the day. The state of Mississippi? This is just... You should be mad at this. You should be angry at this. I'm... Ross Dellinger tweets, Mississippi is on a path to waive state income tax on athlete revenue share payments. Arkansas did it as well amid a pressurized recruiting environment with an SEC footprint where Texas, Tennessee, and Florida have no state income tax. Dan Wolken responds to this with Mississippi, the poorest state in the union by many metrics, will give tax breaks to specific class of 6- and 7-figure earners because good at football. How? Like if I make $50,000 a year in Mississippi, or $100,000 a year, or $300,000 a year, I am being taxed on that. I have to pay income tax on that. And because of that fact, I'm losing more money of the money that I should make because I have to give it to the government. I've always had to do that. I don't complain about it. You know why? Because I show up every April, I pay my dues, I go home. You know who doesn't have to do that? Millionaires who are 19. How do I not get a tax break as the hardworking, blue-collar, red-blooded American living in Yazoo, Mississippi, and you can't give me a tax break? But because so-and-so plays basketball for Ole Miss, because he's a rebel, because she is playing tennis for Mississippi State, because of that, they can make $50,000 or $5 million. And we're going to waive the state income tax, the tax that our state could make off of these people that are in the $7-8 million categories. They don't have to pay. They get to be a church. They get to be a church because they can lift weights and throw a football. I show up to work every day, 8 to 5, with an hour-long lunch break in between where I'm probably still at work eating warmed-up stromboli. I got to pay income tax. But the starting quarterback at Mississippi State doesn't, and he's making 23 times what I'm making, and I get paid pretty well. The money that's being put, and you might think, like, that's not that much. No, but dog, if you combine the NIL of Mississippi State and Ole Miss, that's just the two prominent colleges. We're not even talking about Southern Miss here. That's just the two prominent colleges in Mississippi. You combine their NIL, let's say it's $80 million. Imagine the income tax on $80 million. The money that Mississippi is missing out on because they want you, the everyday person, to pay them. Not the football player. He makes us look good. Idiot of the day. The Pat McAfee show? Pretty awesome. Pat McAfee show posted a picture of Lorenzo Styles Sr. at the Combine, and he's got the two largest biceps you've ever seen in your life. And he is 7 feet tall, standing next to two Ohio State players. We did come to find out it is absolutely 100% photoshopped. And he's significantly smaller than the players in the actual photo, but our friends at the Pat McAfee show were completely duped by this. Posted the photo and said, wow, look how big he is. Oh. And idiot of the day, Reagan Rivera. This is the Western Kentucky pitcher from Barstool Western. Indiana pitcher. Reagan Rivera allegedly was a part of a pitching rotation that gave up 14 runs and a loss to Western Kentucky. He then tried, allegedly, to slide into a Western Kentucky student's DMs and got curved. He took 2 L's that day. The screenshot of the text reads as follows. Rivera says, "Hey, Emily." She says, "Oh, hi." He responds, "What are you up to tonight?" To which she puts him in a body bag by saying, "Partying. And you should probably go to sleep since you pitched like crap." Bang. Take that, now what? Winner of the day. I didn't do the winner of the day earlier during the Biggest Loser, so I'm going to move it to now. 2 of them. One is John Shire. Here's a wild stat you should know when you go into the office today. And people say, man, college basketball looks really good right now. Your wild stat is as follows. John Shire, while at Duke, yes, born on third base, but while at Duke, is 117 and 24. 117 wins and 24 losses in his 4 seasons at Duke. He had a tough go at taking over for one of the greatest college basketball coaches of all time, and has done so smoothly. And you know what? Here's a free one for you. Vincent Trocheck said he's already talked to his kids about the possibility of being traded. He's trying to prepare them. Dan Rosen tweets, his son, who is 7, had a legendary response, Trocheck said. My son was like, well, I'll stay because, I have a hockey team here, and I didn't get traded. Looks like Vincent Trocheck's kid is going to hang out. Despite Pops taking the old trade, he's still got the hockey team. He didn't get moved. This is the worst part of the song. The beeps and the bops, the worst part of the song.
Worst part of the song is when Curtis just jacked up the volume there for a second.
I heard that.
Yeah,
I got that.
Curtis, break that down. Curtis, break that down. What was going through your head in that moment?
I don't know. I just kind of wanted to end the segment.
Because I'm just imagining the monkey with the cymbals.
He's just touching things. Curtis is once again just touching things. Touch yourself. Coming up, Roy Philpott, ESPN, joins the Drake Toll Show to talk college basketball and where we sit going into March Madness and whether or not you should be buying or selling Iowa State after their recent skid, despite the seniority on the roster. Philpott has more from the national perspective. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. You can call or text the show anytime, 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Will the Raiders trade?
brain. La-da-da-da-dee.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates produces, Curtis Poindexter runs the board in Culver City, California. I like it when they call me Big Papa. I'm putting my hands in the air like I's a true player. And I watched some true players last night. In Big 12 play in college basketball this season, if you have not kept your finger on the pulse, now's the time. I'm not going to berate you for not watching it. I get it. Some of the games are late. 9 p.m. Eastern time is pretty late. If you have watched Big 12 basketball, you have been treated to the greatness that is Arizona. You've seen some incredible games from Houston, despite their 3-game losing streak they went on. Incredible games from Iowa State, despite the skid they're on. And even a Texas Tech that lost its best player, but still seems to be oh so good. Or a Duke team that any given night could beat the Lakers. Well, maybe that's a bit facetious, but Roy Philpott, at Roy Philpott, joins the Drake Toll Show from ESPN and Sirius XM College Sports today. Roy, you tweeted it. It said, if Duke is playing like this, they could beat the Lakers. And I know there's some facetiousness there, but that Duke team I watched last night, I think, is the best team in America. Am I off base?
No, you're 100% on. I mean, that's exactly what I've been thinking. That's exactly what I've been tweeting. I've been talking about it on the various shows that I've been a part of. And, I mean, it's way beyond Cam Boozer. It's the emerging John Shire taking over for Coach K, which I don't know that we mentioned that enough. I mean, here's a coach that just picked up right where the Hall of Famer Mike Krzyzewski left off. He got Duke to the Final Four last year. They're on a rampage, I think, to get back there this season. I remember talking to him at the ACC basketball tip-off, and there was so much motivation given what happened against Houston and what transpired in that Final Four a year ago and how it was there for the taking until it wasn't at the very end. And so I think that he's come back properly motivated. But just in terms of execution, watching them last night against NC State, Will Wade said it best afterwards. He was like, this is the standard. We now see what the standard is and what it's going to take. And he's got to be concerned because that's a lot to deal with. Like, we looked at the updated KenPom rankings this morning. Duke is at plus 40 point something. It's the highest ranking in the history of KenPom. Like, that's how efficient they are. That's how dominant they've been. And I expect more of the same down the stretch. So, yeah, I would put Duke in that category right now. And I think if Duke is 1A, I think Florida is 1B. You just mentioned all the Big 12 teams. We can talk about that for sure. But Florida is an emerging team that has figured things out with its transfer backcourt, that you know about their length and what they bring in the front court, and the emerging Ruben Chinyelu and what he does. Like, to me, Duke and Florida are kind of on this collision course of some sorts later this month here in March for March Madness, because they are both playing, I think, the very best in college hoops right now.
To accompany that note, 117 wins and 24 losses in 4 years for John Shire. That is an absurd mark to replace. It's the toughest job in sports, is to replace the legend. He has done so impeccably. And yeah, Roy, you touch on Florida as good as they look, and Duke as good as they look. Let's skip the Big 12 for now and go somewhere that people are wondering, why have they not said Michigan? Why have I not heard the name Michigan? Is there a Wolverine in the conversation of being the best team in the country, or is that not the case right now for Dusty May's squad?
No, they definitely are. I mean, they're one of the tallest teams. We've talked about that in the past with their record and their resume and what they've done in the Big Ten and just stockpiling win after win. You know, really the difference there, I think, in starting with Duke and not mentioning Michigan sooner is what happened just 2 weeks ago when those two squared off in Washington, D.C., and Duke won 68-63. So, look, Michigan's resume with what they just did at Illinois, and, I mean, that was a beatdown. That was a bully beatdown. It was 84-70. That certainly makes you turn your head and just remember just how good this team is with what they did before the loss against Duke at Purdue. Kind of a similar game, 91-80. And so, look, I know Dusty May is one of the best coaches, one of the best coaching hires that we've seen through these last 2 to 3 cycles. And no, I expect Michigan to be there too. And look, Michigan, I want to know what the brackets look like. I want to see what their path looks like. And think about this too, like we talked about Florida. Florida is just kind of generally, perceived as one of the strongest 2 seeds we're ever going to see. If you're a 1 seed like Michigan or a 1 seed like Duke, or maybe it's Arizona, you're all just kind of looking at the bracket and say, okay, is Florida on our side where we have to beat Florida to get to the Final Four? Like, that is something I'm going to be watching big time on Selection Sunday, because that is a major, major obstacle. So I think that's something to watch, and kind of an early thought on what could happen here in Selection Sunday, which is just right around the corner. But no, Michigan and Dusty May and that roster and their length and their explosiveness and their resume all indicate that this is going to be maize and blue in the Final Four this year for sure.
Roy Philpott joins the Drake Toll Show from ESPN and Sirius XM. The Big 12, aforementioned Arizona at the top of it, just a gauntlet. It's the Houston Cougars, as good as they have looked for a large majority of the season, that lost 3 in a row. But when those 3 in a row are games against Iowa State, Arizona, and Kansas, that's just part of being in the Big 12. It always comes up this time of year. Is there something to a conference like this wearing you down so much that by the time you get to March, the gas in the tank is running out? Or does iron truly sharpen iron in college basketball for teams like Houston, Arizona, and the like?
You know, I look at the league right now, and look, I love Houston and Kingston Flemings and the job that he's done in the backcourt as a freshman. You know about their brand and what they bring to the table, and as hard as they play. Arizona, we saw it on display last night. And the recent wins for Tommy Lloyd's team, Braden Burry's emerging, Koa Pete, the talented freshman. There's so much to love. Iowa State, Lipsy, and just kind of their backcourt is incredible with what they've done. My heart goes out to Grant McCaslin and Texas Tech for JT Toppin's injury. I don't know how they've done what they've done since he went out, but they climbed 6 spots in the AP top 25 yesterday after their impressive win at Hilton this past weekend with Christian Anderson kind of leading the charge. But just I get tired saying all those teams and talking about all those teams. And look, I do think that some of them are running out of gas.
Yeah.
Watch how hard Houston plays. Like, it's in their DNA. We know that. But you can't tell me at some point, like, we're here in early March, man, those guys, they're not worn down just a little bit. I do think the Big 12 has cannibalized itself somewhat. It feels that way to me. I think Arizona is going to prove to be the best team out of that conference. You know, Iowa State hasn't been the same recently. Houston, to your point, they lost 3 straight. They haven't been the same recently. JT Toppin, Texas, can Chris Anderson, Atwell, and some of these other guys carry Coach McCaslin's team? You know, I've got questions there. Look, there's no doubt that in terms of contenders, the Big 12 is the best conference. Is it the deepest conference? We could have a debate about that. But, like, part of me does believe, okay, man, they've been through that gauntlet that you referenced.
Yeah.
What does that mean a month from now? And how many Big 12 teams are left standing? I think Arizona's their best chance to win a national championship, but I'm not buying Iowa State. I'm not buying Texas Tech. I've got questions about Houston, and, you know, we'll see what the rest. And then don't get me started on Kansas. Kansas is a better team without Darren Peterson on the floor. That makes no sense to say that for a guy that could be the number 1 pick in the draft. But in terms of team chemistry and the teams that they've beaten and they've lost to with him in the lineup or out, it's bizarre. I mean, it's bizarro world, Jerry. It is crazy. And I have no faith in KU right now, despite the great job Bill Self has done navigating the Darren Peterson waters.
Really like it reminds me of 2023, that March Madness. I thought Iowa State going to the tournament, one of the best defensive teams analytically, was going to succeed. The Big 12 gauntlet wore them down so much. They were upset by Pitt 59-41, shot 23%. And it was that classic example of the Big 12. Otzelberger said, we're tired. We just did a whole 3 months of hell and now had to go into a March Madness format that we couldn't face it. And Otzelberger's had his struggles in March Madness, so not buying them going into the month makes a lot of sense. But Roy, you touched on Darren Peterson. Let's go to the Chad Baker-Mazara, Darren Peterson sagas across college basketball, where individual players are stealing the spotlight. Starting with Peterson, is Dick Vitale said it. Divorce is the best thing here. It's the best result for both parties going into March. Should Kansas just cut this off, play their last couple Big 12 games into the Big 12 tournament, and figure this out? They already have figured it out without Darren Peterson.
I mean, it sounds just ridiculous to say that, because any NBA scout will tell you, pound for pound, when it comes to pure talent, this guy is the number 1 pick in the draft, right? And so you really can't reconcile that. You can't say, no, we're not gonna have this guy. He's not gonna be with us. It makes 0 sense, but it also makes 0 sense that I've seen them play their best basketball when he's not a part of it. And look, he's tried to tap out of games recently, and Bill Self hasn't allowed him to do so. So no, this is one of the craziest things that we've seen. And look, part of it, in a weird way, it's made the sport more attractive because we're talking about it. And wait a second, we've got this controversy? Wait a second, we've got this controversy with the most talented player in college basketball, and he plays at Kansas, and you're telling me they could be better when he's not playing with them, even though he could be the number one pick in the draft. It just blows your mind. But we've got a lot of stories like that this year, and a lot of it centers around the freshman class because they're so talented. These teams, because of these freshmen, are so elite as a result. And so that's just my way of spinning it forward and saying, the madness to come and what's going to happen in the NCAA tournament. You're not going to have a Cam Boozer want to step away from the spotlight. You're not going to have an A.J. DeBonson, even though they lost Richie Saunders at BYU to the torn ACL for the season. Like, he is going to accept that role and is going to have moments in the NCAA tournament, even if BYU is in the same team we thought that they were a month ago before the Saunders injury, and so on and so forth. Caleb Wilson's going to come back at North Carolina. Darius Acuff Jr. at Arkansas, a player on a team that we haven't even mentioned yet. It's going to be a lot of fun because we haven't seen this amount of talent in the freshman class that I can remember. I don't know, maybe since 1983, those would be two classes that come to mind.
Can a quick hitter here before we get to Chad Baker-Mazara and that USC fall apart. If Cooper Flagg, and this is kind of the real Sophie's choice here, if Flagg is in this class, does he still go 1-1 in Roy Philpott's mind?
Oh, man. Gosh.
Brutal, right?
Boy,
Brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I've talked to people about what Cam Boozer has done there, and I think he's going to end up being the national player of the year. After we just saw Cooper Flagg a year ago, but in terms of draftability and talent, I think Flagg probably still does go number one, because of the Peterson stuff. I think Flagg checks all those boxes. But I don't know, man. I'd have to think about that. Flagg, so many people have talked about him, Drake, is kind of this generational talent. I think we've seen, just kind of bits and pieces of that at times in his rookie year in Dallas. That team is so bad that it's hard to kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I would still lean Flagg, though, just thinking out loud about it. Good question.
I would too. Chad Baker-Mazara, Eric Musselman, USC. This is a story built for LA. And maybe Chad Baker-Mazara, his college career is built for the movies. Is his college career officially? I mean, we're giving anybody eligibility. Have we seen the last of him? And ultimately, is this a tie that USC probably should have cut? And again, leading scorer, so a really good player, but a tie that if they had cut a few weeks ago would have taken a distraction out of the locker room.
Yeah, I think so. And I knew Chad a little bit during his time at Auburn. I remember we were calling a game at Neville Arena, and he hit a big shot, and he turned around, looked right at us from our broadcast position. He's like, I am him. And it was this emotional moment. It was perfect, and he played very well. And then we would see the next game, the exact opposite would happen. And it was kind of this crazy roller coaster. I think out in LA, it's been more of that. And I was always curious how his personality would mesh with Eric Musselman, who's, kind of got his own thing. He's a coach that can get out there and he'll take the shirt off and get in front of the fans and go ballistic. So I can't say I'm shocked that relationship has ended as the way in which it did, but to be as drastic at this point in the season for Chad Baker-Mazara, who's 26 years old too. This guy, I do think we've seen the last of him in college hoops. That's my expectation.
Roy,
but no, I'm not stunned.
I'm 25. Can I play college basketball? How does this work?
Yeah, I mean, hey, it depends on when that 5-year window started. And you know what? If somebody says you can't play, if somebody says you can't, you take them to court. And more times than not, you end up winning that case, and you end up becoming eligible. So, yeah, I hear you on that.
I'll sue them, and I'll make sure that the judge is a Westwood One alumni. That's what I'll ensure going into that. Roy, incredibly grateful for your time. I've kept you for a while, but one more quick hitter for you. As we go into the postseason, Miami of Ohio, another one of those big stories, and analysts have gone back and forth. If they do not win the MAC this year, the MAC tournament, I should say, should Miami of Ohio be left out of March?
I mean, I think that they're going to be in. I mean, it's rarefied air. I know that their resume isn't overly impressive, and the non-conference doesn't really leave anything there that makes you say, okay, they're definitely in. But man, if you go 31-0, 32-0, however many games it is that they played in the regular season, there just comes this threshold where they got to be in. And I think you're going to hear more people bang that drum.
Yeah.
They got to be in. Like you just, it would be un-American not to have Miami of Ohio in the NCAA tournament this year, even if they don't win the MAC. Chances are, though, look, this is going to be a moot point because they just find ways, game after game, find ways to get to the rack, get the game-winning layup, mid-range, right at the rim. And, I mean, they have a track record of doing that in these last, 3 to 4 weeks of the MAC alone. So
yeah,
I think that it's going to be a great story. I think it's going to give one shining moment a little pizzazz when we get to Selection Sunday. Because you know what? I think that they're going to run the table. They're going to win the MAC. And they're going to go into the dance undefeated, which is going to make them must-see TV to see what they can do and who they can beat, later this month. It's going to be great.
Oh, that first-round matchup, A.J. DeBonson versus Miami of Ohio, is going to feed families. Oh,
love it.
That's going to – Spiro Didis is going to nail that one. Roy Philpott, ESPN, SiriusXM. Again, incredibly grateful for your time joining the Drake Toll Show. A pleasure to have you again.
You got it. Anytime.
You can follow him on Twitter at Roy Philpott and find even more of his tweets about the Duke Blue Devils taking down the Lakers. Westwood One Sports, which would be terrible because fans of both of those basketball teams are the same people. I know plenty of people who are Duke fans and Lakers fans all in the same. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Wait a second. It says here that the Texans got David Montgomery, but I thought they had Mark Ingram and Nick Chubb and Rex Burkhead. Also, Marshawn Lattimore, gone but not forgotten, no longer in Washington. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The Cardinals will report.
Freaks me out, and if I need a breather I can hit the Parkway. Be home before the bars all close, drink away the lies she told, think about the days. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover in a badass Jeep, far from the eyes of a watchful town. Mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, and good heart loving on a gravel road. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Push came down to shove, I'd be a bandit for her love. Shoot sharp and walk away. She was good before she changed her name, and I bet that ain't all that's changed. Goddamn, I remember the nights. I was a young punk kid from a dried up town, Cold Car County full of hunting hounds. She was the one who kept those boys at bay. Her high heels and my red wing boots, cutting couches in the living room. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
by God, I can keep it together. Just to hold my baby close, get her moving down a county road, make up for lost time. She was a few-eyed child of a rodeo queen. She ran on sex and gasoline, far more money than a boy like me could hold. She went off to paint the town, and I'm stuck holding these mountains down, Juliet. Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
I got a sweet little baddie and she's rolling in the caddy. I got a sweet little baddie and she's rolling in the
It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Do you have that full MP3 still? Woo!
I only have that little noise.
Wow. Again. The Arizona Cardinals, will they send Kyler Murray to the gulag? What? I missed that one. We bullied that one out of existence. Because there used to be the one that would say, what? And the guy would come on and he would say, will Aaron Rodgers be shipped to the surface of the sun where he'll disintegrate?
My favorite was still also the one that started with, shut hot.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Will Tua Tagovailoa be on the
one's
front
gone, too.
lines in Iran?
It was so good. I remember, and what happened was we bullied the one that was what, and so then they just did away with it, and then we bullied the one that was with the whistle. And look, none of the three make any sense together. Typically, they're out of a sound package. Like, oh, I can see that the one guy voiced over a bunch of things. No, completely different. What? Or with the whistle in the background. Coach, I touched it. Like, damn.
Touch yourself.
We're really cooking with the promos right now. The Seattle
We're doing
Seahawks.
something with them.
Sign Kenneth Walker III. You're like, scary. Maybe. I'm not sure. Should we be talking about these things? I haven't thought about that. When I hear the promos that are asking if Kenneth Walker III should be a Seahawk, I'm just now realizing, are we the ones supposed to be talking about that? Because it's promoting a topic, you would think that's our job to discuss it, but we're over here.
Yeah.
Touching
You're right.
ourselves did you hear the strip club's having its own night?
Well, yeah. March Madness is about to begin. World Baseball Classic. But will Max Crosby be traded? Will the Cleveland Browns be the worst team in the NFL? Let's break
I
it
don't
down.
know. You know what? Maybe it's on us. Maybe we are the idiots of the day for talking about whether or not a strip club should have its own dedicated evening at a baseball game.
See, but that's something set in stone, you know. You can that's something. Well, Max Crosby.
We should be talking about whether or not Kenneth Walker III will be working at McDonald's this time next year. Get ready to learn burgers, buddy. Get ready to learn LinkedIn. I didn't know. By the way, shout out Roy Philpott. I did not know that Chad Baker-Mazar is 26 years old.
Grows old.
Freaking grow up.
We can we can leave college anytime. It's okay to move on.
It's kind of like Chad from the Disney movies. Chad Michael Murray. No, no. Chad Michael Murray was from One Tree Hill, which is good. Who is in Starstruck? Sterling Knight, which is not his name was Chad in the movie. Sterling Knight was my neighbor in college. I lived close to Sterling Knight, Chip and Joanna Gaines, Forrest Frank, been to Forrest's house. That was back when he was with the band Services, and they had that one hit song. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Feeling good, like I should. That one. Went and took a walk. Everybody loved that one. Yeah. And Sterling Knight, he would go to the college bars, and he would hit on all of our friends.
That's weird.
And we'd say, Sterling, aren't you like 32? And these college girls are 19. And he'd say, I'm Sterling Knight. I'd say, yeah.
Lane Kiffin can do it.
Lane Kiffin's good at that, man. But Lane Kiffin's pretty public about it. Also, super funny that he released a documentary about how I'm Lane Kiffin and I've changed. And then immediately left Ole Miss. All right, great. I promise I'm different, guys. I'm different. You know who's not different? You know who got fired yesterday?
Curtis.
Marshawn Lattimore. Fired guy. Somebody out there's like, man, he shouldn't be saying that. It's probably a really traumatic experience. All right, dog. You can put me through a good amount of traumatic firing experiences if you pay me $18 million. So save your condolences. The Texans have acquired David Montgomery. And you're thinking, didn't they already have David Montgomery? And the answer is yes. This is yet another David Montgomery to be added to their roster because they have extended the trend of signing old man running back. Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, David Johnson, Mark Ingram, Carlos Hyde, Rex Burkhead, all Houston Texans. Steve Frederick tweets, no team lives for a 29-year-old car with 200,000 miles on it, 20 miles left in the gas tank, like the Houston Texans. And they sure do. The Texans now will have Montgomery in the backfield, and the way they operate this will be interesting. Juice Scruggs, by the way, was a casualty in this deal. 2026 4th-round draft pick, 2027 7th-round draft pick for the Lions. They'll get Scruggs in those draft picks. Montgomery, 3 seasons with the Lions, 2,500 rushing yards, 33 touchdowns. And Houston's like, hey, what do we do with Woody Marks? 4th-round rookie. See, again, personally, Drake Toll, the Drake Toll Show, I don't give a rat's ass about running back. I don't need one. Unless your last name is McCaffrey, Henry, or Barkley, I don't need you. I'm good. I'm okay. I can go get somebody in the 2nd round of the draft that you've never heard of who played at Boise State. Or I can go get somebody in the 2nd round of the draft who you've never heard of who played at South Carolina State or University of Southern Florida. And you'll say, I don't know who Isaiah Pacheco is. And I'll say, get ready to learn Isaiah Pacheco, buddy, and he'll be good. And the Commanders released Marshawn Lattimore. They'll save $18.5 million as free agency approaches. March 11th, 4 p.m., that's when the new league year will begin. And the Commanders have saved $18.5 million. So what will they do? Well, they'll say, 29-year-old Marshawn Lattimore, you're too old. Bye. He tore his ACL in his left knee in Week 9, missed the remainder of the season. And at this point, it's better just to ship him off, just to old yeller him, take him out back, let it be done. So that's what they did. And now they'll move along. Addie, what are you doing?
I'm producing a show.
Highlighting the whole thing. What are you highlighting for?
So I can create a description for the stream, for the podcast.
Gosh. Are you AIing right now?
You told me to.
You are AIing. I knew
you told me.
AIing.
You said, I said, hey, how do you want me to come up with like captions or like descriptions for the podcast? And you said, and I quote, take the whole rundown, highlight it, go to Gemini and give me a 150-word synopsis, of the Drake Toll Show.
Yeah, it's awesome. Or you could write 150 words on your own, which would not be awesome.
I think it would be awesome.
Okay, then you can spend your time however you want to spend it. I'm just trying to save you a buck.
Thank you.
Or two.
I needed your permission. Thank you.
Es tiempo for Dead or Alive. Who's dead and who's alive today? Julie Bowen. Addie, Dead or Alive, Julie Bowen. She is an actress from Lost and Boston Legal. She also won 2 Emmys for Modern Family.
She's alive.
Curtis.
Yeah, I was going to say alive, too.
Claire Dunphy is alive. 56 years old today. Happy birthday to Julie Bowen. James Doohan. Doohan? Dead or alive, Curtis?
Put him in a coffin.
Okay, Star Trek. He's from Star Trek. Addie?
Which Star Trek?
The motion picture.
Not the original series, not...
I don't know, man.
Okay, fine, I'll kill him.
He is dead. Pneumonia got him. All my friends hate pneumonia. He would have been 106 years old today. Dead. Dead or alive, David Faustino from Married with Children. Addie?
Dead.
Curtis?
We'll say alive.
He was a child actor. He's alive. 52 years old today. Not even that old. Faustino's listening today as we speak in his car.
Sorry, David.
Jackie Joyner Kersey. Addie? 5 Olympic gold medals. Track.
Okay, dead.
Ooh, Curtis?
I'll go alive.
We have a 2-point lead for Curtis. Jackie Joyner Kersey could be a pretty banger guest on the show, actually. It'd be really cool. Alive. 64 years old today. Happy birthday.
Sorry, Jackie.
Okay, Addie. No, Curtis, it's you. Perry Ellis, men's fashion designer.
We'll go dead.
Addie?
Dead.
He is dead. He died of AIDS.
What's funny about that one?
Why are you
Nothing
laughing,
funny.
Curtis?
I didn't laugh. No one laughed. He died of AIDS. People die of AIDS sometimes. Herschel Walker, dead or alive, Addie? Politician.
Alive.
Curtis?
Yeah, alive.
Yeah, super alive. Last couple here. Barney Martin. Curtis from Seinfeld.
I'll go dead.
Alive.
Oh, Barney Martin is dead. Curtis is going to win today. Wow! Curtis is going to win
We
today.
really are going to war if I'm going to win a game.
This is this is the end of this is the
This is the end of
rapture.
times, yeah.
This is how you know the rapture is happening.
Finally, Heidi Swedberg, also from Seinfeld. Addie?
Alive. I don't know.
Curtis?
Sure, she's alive.
She is alive. Played Susan Ross in the show. She's from Honolulu, Hawaii, 60 years old today. Addie Bates produces the program. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Colin Jones is the president. Vice president is Bruce. Program director is Armin.
No.
And this is... What?
You got this. Keep going. Keep going.
Why can't I? All right. The Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.